Hi everyone, Vacha here from Recording Studio 9, and with me today I have Nathan from CrossSpreads Production. Hi Nathan.
How you going? How you going, Butch?
Well, we thought we get together and chat about anything about music because we are in pretty much in the same industry, and hope you enjoy this very friendly conversation between two music producers. So Nathan, how you been?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, good. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Can't recall how I actually got to know your channel, and I watched quite a bit of your music production. I guess maybe because I was searching for something about Studio One, and I got sort of some of the videos, and I clicked the subscribe as always because there's a lot of
Yeah.
good content there. So it's been really great. So how's your channel going?
Yeah, good, good. I started it probably about in 2013, early 2013, and I probably didn't really take it serious. Like I guess a lot of YouTubers at the start, they kind of just think it's kind of a fun thing to do. I'm
Yes.
not sure about you whether or not you had the same experience, but
Yes, yes.
I just started it. I created beats, and I was kind of into the whole beat making thing at that point in time. And I started putting beats up there, and I started to get views. And I thought, oh, maybe I can use this as a platform to start producing more content and stuff like that. So I think it took about probably 2 years to get myself straight, and then trying to get into the whole momentum of doing the YouTube thing. And eventually, when I did that, then I kind of got addicted to the whole creating and sharing information. Like I guess also that you probably have the same experience in that regard.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding as well. So when you share your content, and especially when you share information that may be valuable to other people.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I mean, that's all of I guess a lot of YouTube channels like us who have lots of ideas, techniques, and information that we're quite happy to share and then help the others who are just starting or they were trying to work out something and they can't. All of a sudden they go, "Oh, that's how Nathan did it. Oh, this is great. That's how I can do in Studio One or the other DAWs. Studio One is your DAW, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the main platform that I work on. I started on Logic way back when I first started. So this is
when was that? At what year did you actually start musical production?
I started playing guitar when I was really young. So I played that probably when I was in year 5, which it's different for the people in the US because I have a lot of US subscribers. But year 5 is kind of like the elementary school where you first kind of, you're starting to learn stuff. So I started around about year 4, year 5, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I gave it up, but I did. I got a skateboard, and I guess that was kind of more interesting to me than playing guitar. But I got quite good at it, and that's kind of what made me draw myself into music as well, and listening and appreciating music. And the music teacher that I had taught me a lot quite quickly as well. So it wasn't until later on in life when I decided that I really wanted and had a passion for music and wanted to continue that career. So later on in life, I'd say probably about late 20s, actually. That's how long it took. So from about maybe 12 years old to late 20s, which is when I started going back into the music thing, and then started realizing that mixing was fun to do. And just the whole production thing was really interesting, and just creating and the freedom of creation as well. And creating something from scratch is quite enjoyable. Like a lot of producers would know that as well as yourself.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to do.
I mean, you mainly do, in the box creation, isn't it? So you don't really have much live instruments being recorded to what I have seen from your videos. It's sort of in the box production.
Like there's probably only 3 tracks that I've actually had live acoustic instrument played on, and one of them I played myself, but it was really basic minimal chords that I played on a guitar. And the rest of it's all in the box stuff. So, I
mean, mine is it's halfway through. Most of the music production that I do is sort of live. I mean, you have to say it live because I'm a keyboard player, so I play a lot of keyboard stuff, arrangements, and synthesizers that I use. And then I do add VS instruments as well. If I need any other musical instruments like guitars and or drums and things, it's always been someone else coming in and doing, because I don't know how to play the guitar. I'm trying to play the guitar, I'm not, but I can't get it to go.
It's just that move where you need them to move.
Yeah, my fingers just don't stretch far enough, because it's all about practice. So I get the other people to do it. Sometimes I get my son to actually play some guitars. Yeah, that's how I'm halfway through between recording live and producing music. But having said that, the last 2 tracks which I arranged and produced for has been completely in the box. Yes, completely in the box. For a lady that I recorded, arranged and did 2 songs for, and it was in the box. So that sort of moved it, because that's the style of the music she wanted to actually record. So that made it easy.
So she wanted synthesized music and maybe drum or something.
I mean, it's a pop dance music. So the only way and the best way to do it, rather than reinvent the wheel, is to use samples, loops, and things. And it sounded great, and she was really happy, and that worked out really well. So as long as the client is happy and she's really happy that the songs are now 2 songs now on iTunes and Spotify and whatever, and it's all personal. She's not sort of recording it for, obviously, what do you say, for the money or for the fame. It's just for her personal joy, and and I get paid in the end. It's fine.
Well, that's part of it. Obviously, you need to support what you're doing. So I mean.
Yeah.
Again, you need some sort of pay for the work that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes at the same token, like with producing as well, like from the label perspective, when I work with the label, like I currently work with one of the label that I deal with, there are a lot of Christian-based music on that label, and it takes a long time to make money. Like I don't know if a lot of young people that think a label is perfect to get onto, it's not always a perfect thing. Like sometimes working on your own is fantastic, because all of the hard work you do, it's all yours. You submit it to iTunes or wherever you put it, whatever platform, and all of that, plus the fact that you did all the work as well. You don't answer to label either about what type of style that you're doing or the work that you're doing.
I mean, having said that, we should also mention to a lot of our YouTube viewers, subscribers, who are not many of them from Australia, from what I can have the statistics. I think my viewers from Australia is about 20%, and about 70% is US, and the rest is the rest of the world. And we should actually mention that the music industry and home music or home studio is quite different to what it is in US and for the rest of the world as well.
Yeah. So I think that the platform that we have is like a quarter of the size anyway. But I mean, if you're looking at the US style versus the Australian style of music, it's definitely a lot different. I think the ideas are still the same. Like obviously music is music. The idea of creating is always the same. But I guess the audience that it's reaching is a different mindset, different platform. A lot of things are different in that regard. So
I mean, there's a lot of cultural differences as well. As what American music is more influenced by blues music, where where Australian is more rock and roll, and you can definitely, if I hear a song, I can definitely tell if it's an Australian production, Australian band, or it's an American band, and I'm sure you could tell the difference as well.
That's the cool thing, though. I think a lot of like American listeners love the Australian music because it's so different and unique. Some of them don't like it at all. Like that's fair enough, but that's the same with every music genre. There's always somebody who doesn't like that style of genre. Unless you mix different styles of genre, then you just have to appreciate it, which is kind of what I've learned as well. I grew up on a lot of hip hop music when I was younger. I had heaps of hip hop music, just constantly listening to that. And I think after a while, when I started mixing music, I became appreciative of all styles of music. And it's weird. It's like when you're a child, you don't like drinking coffee, but when you're an adult, you think it tastes fantastic. It's kind of bizarre because when I was growing up, you know, as a kid, I thought coffee. How could anyone have taste buds if they drink coffee? It's just ridiculous.
Yes, yes, yeah.
But that's just the thing. Like your style of music changes over time, as well as your appreciation for music as well. So I think a lot of people enjoy different styles.
I think also I should mention that if you're just a listener, not a musician, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are not musicians, but they really listen and appreciate music. They sort of, I guess, because of their personal feelings and life situations, they tend to sort of listen to certain type of music. Whereas in our case, as a musician, and especially as a music producers, you know, we tend to have broader range of genres of music that we listen, that we like. You know, I listen to from classical music, which pretty much everybody does, except young ones, to all the way to, you know, heavy metal, and it ranges from across the language as well. You know, I'd be listening to whether if it's Hindi music or whether if it's the Persian music or Arabic music or Greek or Balkan music, you know, all of that. And I have had, you know, even people, you know, recording over the years, even now, of different languages where they come in and they sing. I don't understand it, but still, because of our open-mindedness and just music being the music part, you know, we can actually relate to and provide the best recording and production for that client. You know.
There was one recent track that I was mixing, and it wasn't in English. I don't even know what language it was, to be honest. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. But the tones and just listening to the track is what I enjoyed the most. It wasn't anything about the fact that I could understand the language. It was just about what they were singing, the harmonies, the tones, all of it. And that's why I enjoyed mixing it, because I thought, I don't care about what they're actually saying. Like, there might be a really good story to it as well. And if I knew, I'd probably be happy. But in the fact that I was listening to it and just enjoying all of that and that whole process of mixing as well, that just made it worth that effort. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, just last week I had a guy who came in here. I think this is his third time that he came in to record. And in one session we recorded 2 songs, and he was singing Persian, and I was just recording the vocals. The music was already sort of a backing track. The sample backing track was already provided. So I just put this backing track, and then he sang on it. Now, I don't understand what he's singing, but still a good performance, and I'm sure you would agree with this as well. You can tell the good performance from it as well. You can see whether getting a good performance and helping the singer, the vocalist, to give the best performance, even though we're not understanding a word they're singing. You know, that's and that's what it was. You know, helping out, saying, okay, your syllables are a little bit too short or too quick, or the ending of each word is sort of dying out and it's not firm, and helping out. So even though we don't understand the word, making sure everything is correct and is spelled out. And then the final text that we did, he was really thankful and amazing. It just sounds really great. Even with no effects, no EQ, and no reverb, nothing at all. Because that's what he wanted. He wanted the raw vocals. Really? Because it will be mixed somewhere else. And then he was really happy. So that's, I guess, what we're trying to say is, doesn't matter what language it is. You know, if a good producer will be able to produce the song, whether it's the music or the vocals or whatever, and present it the best way. You know?
Yeah. I completely agree. It's as well.
Go on. Yeah.
I was going to say it's also whoever the artist is, it's their idea as well. Like, you're trying to help them along with their idea and help their idea flourish into whatever it's supposed to be. So I think working with somebody directly like that as well is really important. Like sometimes it's difficult with electronic producers, for example. They produce a track and then somebody else jumps onto that track later on. It's quite difficult, I think, when you don't have that person right in the room with you to really get the inspiration that they both, like yourself and them, want on that track. So when you're in situations like that, it's really easy to feel the emotion. It's easy to feel like what they're trying to achieve. And like you said, even the syllables, how they say the words, how they express, you know, just volume of their voice, everything, it really contrasts to what they're trying to get across.
Do you get many sort of artists or vocalists come in to your studio at all, or are you mainly just working in mixing?
Majority of my stuff comes through the label. So I get a lot of music that's already, either they've recorded the vocals already in another studio, and also the track's produced already, or I produce parts of the track or help them along with the production. Really depends. Like, it's a mixed bag of stuff. I've recorded one other person in my actual studio here, just because my space is quite small as well. It's hard to do that. But yeah, it's mainly stuff that I get submitted, then I'll mix that or I'll master it, and or production wise, I produce my own tracks and then submit it to people as well. So that's the main bulk that I deal with. Yeah.
So if someone wants to actually record the backing tracks of a song, is that something you do as well? So they would say, okay, this is my song. Like in my situation, I will have someone come in here and we'll have a chat. They've written the lyrics and they've had some tune in mind, and they would sing, and then I'll try to work out the scales or the chords progression and all of that, and then try to create the music, because they're just vocalists, or and they need the music in the background. Is that something you do as well?
Generally, the only time I ever do that is where, for example, where sometimes the record label will have sample clearance issues, and they might have a sample on a track, and they may want that whole entire track kind of remade to fit a similar kind of idea to that sample, and then they'll submit the vocals to me and I'll try and create the track over that. I've done that a couple of times. That's been, so I don't really enjoy doing that much, because I feel like the original song was what it was and that's why they created it. But sometimes you just have to do that, especially with sample clearance issues. If the sample is going to be an issue and you can't get it cleared, or it's going to cost you much, then you have to just make with what you've got. I've even tracked myself that I created that had a sample in it, and I submitted it to the label, told them that had a sample, and they're like, oh, we'll get somebody else to actually reproduce the sample. And that kind of sounded similar, but it wasn't exactly how I liked it. And I still haven't brought that track out yet, because I'm still not happy with the sample, how it sounded when it got recreated.
All right. Okay.
You just have to just let it out, and you just, let go with it and hope for the best. But yeah, it's definitely hard to, especially with that sort of thing, it's hard to get around the original idea. And if I'd imagine you'd have this issue as well, where somebody comes into you and they've got probably some other song from maybe U2 or something in their head, and they're like, can you create a track like this? Like, can you make it sound like this? My vocals sound like this. And you're like, nah, I don't think your vocals are going to sound like that.
Yes, I have had quite a few actually song or stems submitted to me, and well, initially they contacted me saying, can you mix this song, and I want my vocals to be really loud, I want the music to be really loud, and so on. And then you listen to the stems that they have recorded, and you think, I gotta record the whole thing all over again, because nothing sounds clear. Nothing is, so yeah, there are there's sort of situations. Just on that note, just so that does CrossBeat production do any mixing? So if someone has recorded the songs and they've got the stems, and they need someone to actually mix it and not arrange it, but mix it and produce it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much probably 80% of my work at this point in time. That's all I'm doing right now. So I get a lot. Recently, I've got a lot of even a track that has only 3 stems, and one's just a guitar and 2 vocals, and just stuff like that. Like, I get submitted all kinds of random stuff just for mixing, and even they'll ask me to mix it and master it just as a finalization as well. But I do that, but sometimes I don't like doing it, because you've already touched the track, you've got an idea of what it sounds like, and then if you don't have another set of ears on that to listen to it and then to master it, it does sort of into the way it sounds.
Yes.
Even though I'm a perfectionist and
I do the same thing as well. Sorry, I do the same thing as well, because a lot of the times I'm recording the tracks here, I'm mixing it down, and then in the end, even though there are mastering houses here in Sydney that you can send, and I think on average it costs about $150 to $170 a song to master.
Yeah,
and as soon as you tell them, the client, that's going to cost you that much extra, and it's not my fee, it's got nothing to do with me, they go, ooh, can you master it for me? And you go, well, in that situation, I go, okay, I can do a master for you. I normally say, well, you're going to give me at least 2 weeks before I even start mastering it, so that I have 2 weeks of not listening to your song or my mix before I actually master it. So I come back to it with fresh ears. While in the meantime, I've done maybe 1 or 2 other projects in between, a different sound, different arrangement. So my ears tonality has changed.
Totally away from that track that you were working on. Yeah.
Don't listen. I normally don't listen to that track for about a couple of weeks, other than in my dreams, because the music just ends up in my dreams, in my head over and over again. And I'm sure probably the same thing happens to you. Does it actually happen to you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if anyone takes away from this video, one key tip you can get is, if you're mastering somebody's track and you're working on their mix as well, go away from it for like at least 2 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
Because even my own productions, like I've come back to those and I've listened to it, I'm like, holy crap, I've got way too much top end. I don't know what the heck I was thinking at that point of the time, but like, how could that possibly sound good? And anyway, like then a week or 2 later, and then I come back and listen, I go, okay, this is what I need to adjust on the EQ. This is what I need to not do, or what I need to add. Yeah. And it's so critical. Like, that is a key thing. So, I mean, because any point here, one of the golden nuggets you can get out of this conversation. For sure.
Yes. And plus, a warning as well. A warning. A warning as well, because especially when you're mixing, you're listening to either certain part. I usually listen to the whole song when I'm actually mixing, doing the rough mix. I'll probably be sitting down an hour listening a 3-minute song or 4-minute song over and over and over and over again. By the time you go to bed, it's just playing like a broken record in your head over and over. You can't even sleep, at least for a couple of days. So a warning. So make sure you take breaks in between. So don't listen any more than an hour when you're mixing. And
it's funny that you said that too, because I just thought I was the only person that had that problem.
No, I have it. And the funny thing is, even after maybe a month or 2 of the song finished, out, gone, and all of a sudden I go, I'll have a listen to that, or it comes up on Spotify or on iTunes, and I listen to just even once to see how it's actually going, because I check things out on iTunes or whatever. Again, it gets stuck in your head for overnight as well. But that's how it is. So excellent. Did you want to add anything into this conversation? By the way, guys, I think Nathan and I has sort of agreed to do this chat about music and everything. We're going to try to do it, I guess, regularly, maybe once a month or so, to get together and chat about music.
And if there's anybody else as well, if there's anybody else who wants to join in a group, maybe we can create some sort of a group, then start some sort of a mixing group, possibly. That's another idea that we could possibly do as well. The more people we've got in this chat, the more ideas, more creativity, I guess, we can pass on more information. Absolutely. And I think even if you're not in Australia, you'll definitely get some things out of this. It's key to listen to different people and understand their styles as well. So,
music is universal.
So maybe next time we can talk about how do we get into production, our studio gear, what sort of gear we use, that sort of thing as well. That could be a next topic that we talk about on our future videos as well. This is a teaser there.
This is the first one out of many that we plan to have. I hope we'll be entertaining as well. but surely it'll be entertainment as far as music production and fun things that happens during music production and recording, and see how it all goes.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be great.
Well, thank you so much, Nathan, for today and our premiere quick chat between us, and hope we can do a lot more in the future as well.
Yeah, cool. Well, definitely, that'd be good.
Sure. We just have to organize and get your internet a bit better, because you're starting to pixelate.
Anyone from the US want to sponsor the good internet, they can bring it over here, because we've got really bad internet in Australia. It's just,
talking about internet, it not until I actually moved in here where NBN came in. So I do have quite a fast internet now. Before, I couldn't even watch YouTube. That's how bad it was. So YouTube had to buffer all the time. And I've got 2 kids, so they will use it. If they were using the internet, forget YouTube. It would buffer.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I've got 100 megabits down and 30 megabits up. So I could be live streaming, and both my children could be live streaming on YouTube. My wife could be watching Netflix, and we wouldn't feel anything.
That's crazy. That's what we need around here. Like it's been, I think, 2 years since they talked about NBN.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Well, I hope you get that sort of a thing. I mean, there are that's the highest rate I could get. But I said, well, I need it, so I might as well pay for it. Because a lot of the times when I'm downloading or uploading stems or finished WAV files, which are 40 megs, 50 megs, and sometimes if it's a 30 track of stems in WAV,
like 1.5 gig
they're like 2 gigs. Trying to upload and download them, I'll be overnight. Previously, it would have been 2 days. Now it's about 10 minutes and it's up.
Oh man!
So sorry. Maybe one day you get the chance to come into the studio here as well. Visit one day, and then we can have the fun of the internet here as well. I hope you just chase up Telstra or whoever and.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be here soon. It's just that they're getting all the lines ready to do it. So they had issues with NBN as well. So that's, I don't know if you heard about it, like the connection issues and all sorts of problems they've had with it. Yeah. So they're trying to sort that out first. But
I don't know. I believe I get the feeling that, Australia is always behind the rest of the world. Everything happens sort of 1 or 2 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's old technology in the rest of the world, and it's brand new for us,
because my dad's from the US, so I'm half American, half Australian. So when I went to the US, they had Dr. Pepper there, and I came back here, and then about 2 years later, the Dr. Pepper appeared. I'm like, what's wrong? It's like, isn't that far away from the other countries that you have to take that long? Like 2 years on a ship to Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I mean, same with musical gear. Whenever something new comes up, I see it. A manufacturer produces, usually keyboards and synthesizers and things. A brand new one has come up, and it takes at least 6 months before someone will bring a small shipment. And if you haven't put your pre-order in and paid for it in full, you miss out.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the new keyboards. There's a range of keyboards to grab, and because I didn't put my initial paid in full pre-order, it's been 6 months now, and it's still not available.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So it's been released 12 months ago, a year ago. It's been released, so it's old. It's already old now.
It's in America.
Still don't have it. Every time I go to the music shop, so when's the next order? Well, we don't have enough orders to actually order them through.
Oh, well. That's probably why there's no unboxing videos in Australia, because we don't get any stuff to make it worth unboxing.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is too old. They go, unboxing that? I mean, I had that for 5 years. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure we'll have lots of great fun in our next episode. So make sure you visit CrossBeATS Productions, and subscribe to his channel as well. And because Nathan's got lots of information, but don't forget to subscribe on my channel as well if this is the first time you're watching, because we're going to have lots of fun and chat about music.
Sounds good.
Any sort of final things for this episode you want to mention, Nathan?
Yeah, just to stay, you know, passionate about what you're doing and keep focus as well. I think it's really crucial to do that, especially in this field of things. And so, you know, with so many things changing as well, it's really important to obviously adapt, but to stay focused. So I think that's one key thing.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Till next time. Thanks, you guys. And thanks for watching, and have a great time making music.
Yep. Take care, guys.
See you guys.